Right now, you're watching the most expensive World Cup ever to attend. 48 teams, 3 countries, 104 matches, $13 billion. But 3 days before the opening ceremony, 2 American states sent FIFA a subpoena over the price of a single seat. 1 seat, $10,990 for one person. This is the story of how the people who run the most beautiful game on earth got so greedy in public, they finally got caught on the biggest stage they ever built. Start with the seat, because the seat is where this touches you. When the United States, Canada, and Mexico won the right to host this tournament, they made a promise. The most expensive ticket to the final would cost $1,550. Steep. But a number a real fan could chase. Then FIFA did something it had never done at a World Cup. It switched on dynamic pricing, the same system that decides what you pay for a flight when the plane is filling up. The cheapest seat at the final didn't stay at $1,500. It climbed past $5,000, then past $10,000. One seat hit $10,990 for one match, for one person. The Attorney General of New Jersey put it plainly. She said FIFA had turned buying a ticket into, quote, a gauntlet of confusion, fake scarcity, and impossibly high prices. That's not a fan complaining. That's a government opening a file. And here's where most people stop me. They say, wait, didn't they clean FIFA up already? It's a fair question, because in 2015, it really did look like the end. Early one morning in Zurich, plainclothes police walked into a 5-star hotel and arrested FIFA officials one by one. Some hid their faces behind hotel bedsheets. The American Justice Department unsealed a 47-count indictment, racketeering, wire fraud, money laundering, well over $150 million in bribes across 24 years. In the end, more than 50 defendants were charged. 27 of them pleaded guilty. It was the biggest corruption case in the history of sport, and it looked like a reckoning. But to understand why it changed nothing, you have to meet the man who brought it all down and how the whole thing actually started. His name was Chuck Blazer, an American, one of the most powerful men in world football, and the biggest corruption case in sports history did not start with a brave whistleblower. It started with a tax form. Blazer had taken millions in hidden money and never filed a personal tax return. The FBI and the IRS didn't catch him chasing football, they caught him chasing taxes. Here's the detail you don't forget. Chuck Blazer rented an apartment in Trump Tower in New York, and then he rented a second apartment in the same building for his cats. He ran a piece of the global game and bought his cats a Manhattan address while quietly skimming the sport. Cornered on the taxes, he flipped. He started wearing a hidden microphone, recording the men he'd worked beside for decades. But Blazer was a symptom, not the disease. To see the disease, you have to follow the money, and the money reveals a machine. Think of FIFA as a giant pipe. At the bottom of the pipe is you, the fan, the ticket, the television subscription. At the top is FIFA itself. Every World Cup, billions flow up that pipe. In Qatar, FIFA earned a record $7.5 billion. This cycle, it's near $13 billion. Now here's the move almost nobody sees. That money doesn't just sit at the top, it flows back down as payments to the football associations of more than 200 countries. Tens of millions of dollars handed out, and every one of those associations gets something priceless in return for their gratitude. A vote. A tiny island nation and a giant football power get the same single vote on who runs FIFA and where the World Cup goes. In plain English, FIFA uses the sport's own money to buy the loyalty of the people who are supposed to police it. The men at the top don't need to conspire. Their interests are already aligned. That's the loyalty machine. And it is completely legal. Once you see the machine, the most infamous decision in football history stops looking like a mystery. It starts looking like a mechanism. On one day in December 2010, FIFA's committee did something strange. It awarded 2 World Cups at once, Russia for 2018, Qatar for 2022, same room, same afternoon. Why hand out 2 of the biggest prizes in sport on a single day? Critics argue the bundle did one thing very well. It doubled the room to trade votes. The committee was supposed to have 24 voters, but only 22 made it into the room. Why? Because the other 2 had just been caught, filmed by undercover reporters appearing to offer their World Cup votes for sale. FIFA knew the questions would come, so it hired a respected American lawyer, Michael Garcia, to investigate. He spent months. He produced a report more than 400 pages long, and then FIFA's own judge released a summary of it, 42 pages. It cleared everyone. Garcia's response is the part that tells you everything. He publicly disowned the summary of his own report the same day, calling it materially incomplete with erroneous representations. Then he resigned in protest. The full report? FIFA kept it secret for almost 3 years. It only came out because a journalist got a copy and threatened to leak it page by page until FIFA was forced to release it. That is not the behavior of an organization that was cleaned up. That's the behavior of a machine protecting itself. So come back to 2026, back to the seat, because this is where the machine made a mistake. For the first time, it got greedy in public, and the math turned on it. FIFA priced the seats like a hedge fund, and then the fans did something it didn't expect. They refused to pay. 2 days before kickoff, roughly 180,000 tickets sat unsold. FIFA quietly cut prices across all 104 matches. It even handed back about 70% of the hotel rooms it had blocked. Think about what that means. They built the most expensive World Cup in history and then had to slash the prices on the way to the gate. The scarcity was never real. It was manufactured and it broke in their hands. This is the cost the machine never puts on a screen. The fan who saved for a year, priced out by an algorithm. The host city that spends public money on stadiums while FIFA keeps the broadcast billions. Remember the model. In Qatar, FIFA took in $7.5 billion. The host carried the buildings. The prize money for every team on Earth was $440 million, a fraction of one cycle's haul. Value flows up, the bill flows down to you. But here's what's different this time. For the first time, the machine looks vulnerable. The fans fought back by simply refusing to pay. 2 American states are now circling with subpoenas. The pressure is real, and it's rising. Which leaves one uncomfortable question hanging over this entire tournament. A machine this profitable has survived every scandal thrown at it for 30 years. So can it actually be stopped this time? Or does it just wait quietly for the noise to die down? Hold on to that question, because the answer is standing right at the top. And the man at the top of it all in 2026 has never been charged with anything. Gianni Infantino ran as the reform candidate, the clean break after the arrests, but watch what he actually built. Under him, FIFA's revenue didn't fall, it hit records. His own pay package rose to around $6 million. And here's the detail that should stop you. FIFA is registered as a non-profit under Swiss law. It pays almost no tax on the World Cup, yet it sits on cash reserves it wants to push above $4 billion. A non-profit with $4 billion in the bank, paying its president $6 million. The day before this tournament opened, a BBC journalist asked Infantino to his face whether he had lost control of the World Cup. Over fans and even officials being denied entry to the host country. His answer was that FIFA is not kings of the world and can't override governments. Here's the pattern across every chapter. When the money comes in, FIFA is in charge. When the blame comes, suddenly FIFA is powerless. That's not a contradiction. That's the design. So let's put the whole thing in one line. The line you can repeat to anyone. FIFA isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed. The arrests in 2015 took the names. They never touched the machine because the machine isn't illegal. It's a system where the sport's own money buys the loyalty of the people who are supposed to guard it, where billions flow up and patronage flows down, all wrapped in the most beautiful game humans ever invented. And that's the hard part, because the game really is beautiful. The goal that makes a stranger hug you, the country that stops to watch, that love is real. The machine just learned to stand underneath it and charge admission. So the next time you see that $10,000 seat or that record $13 billion, don't ask whether FIFA is corrupt. Ask a better question. Ask who's standing at the bottom of the pipe.